Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Tuesday, April 29th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That's because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And I just realized I'm lying to you. We're on the 5-minute. Let's go to the 30-minute. And the other thing to keep in mind is we're on the 30-minute time frame. Again, I was just actually on the 5-minute time frame. What does that mean? Well, we're on the 30-minute, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. Whereas that where I had it for just a minute ago, I'll go back here 5 minutes. So each of these represents 5 minutes of time, but we are going to be looking at things here on the 30-minute time frame. So sorry about that, but quick little lesson. Anyways, stock number one we'll be looking at up there, PLUG. Nice mover today, and now definitely some clear-cut levels headed into Tuesday. And the most, I think, kind of clear-cut level that people will be watching is going to be that pink line there, which on my chart denotes a very well-known, the very famous 200 period moving average. And when the price gets up above it, it tends to act as support. And you can see right there, it got the very nice breakout through it during the opening 30 minutes. And then on the pullback here, you can see this level has gone right back into acting as support. So if you were to say, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest moving forward? My answer would be if the price can stay above that pink line there right now, valued at the dollar mark. With that being said, from the overarching standpoint, it's not like if the price falls below that pink line, then the entire chart's destroyed or ruined or anything like that. But from the overall standpoint, keep an eye on that purple line there, 50 period simple moving average. Keyword being moving. So as time goes by, that line is going to move itself higher and higher. So it's basically like a trend line that's going to draw itself for you. So assuming you care about the grand scheme of things, then overall, as long as the price stays above that purple line, then that does imply that the price is building higher bases, and that's by far what matters most. So keep an eye on that level right there from more of the overarching standpoint. In terms of levels of resistance and areas that you want to keep an eye on, if there is any sort of attempted move back in the upwards direction, key level to watch from more of an overarching standpoint right up there around $1.16. But all in all, nice movement today, some well-defined levels, but let's see if the price can build upon this momentum as the week plays out. Next one, AGMH, very big mover today, huge volume, so a lot of people watching, especially down the world penny stocks, and definitely a well-defined pattern here has taken place, so let's just get this drawn into place. So we have the resistance part of the pattern right there. And on the flip side of things, there has been this little bit of a consolidation right there. Let me change that to green to represent support. And then just to make the pattern easier to see, let me keep it all the same color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the big move up right there. And then for you golfers out there, let me put the golf down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. Now, just because something's in a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go upwards. But would it be shocking? Would it catch people off guard if this consolidated a little bit more, came up here, got the break, and then that break right there created a more upside buying pressure? Would that be shocking? No, not guaranteed to happen, but certainly a more than valid question to throw out there. So can the price get the break through that pattern? And if so, will it get more continuation? But at the end of the day, if you're somebody that likes penny stocks and you like bull pennant patterns, keep an eye on it. Next one here, OMEX, got a couple of key levels. I think the main level that most people will now be watching. So we're going back to that kind of whole idea of, put that in there. So not trying to impress you, not trying to imply this is a great discovery or a special talent. I think a lot of people have put that line in there. So call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, but when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, it can create some very dynamic movement. So again, no guarantees, but if the price were to come up here and break up through that level, that in and of itself could create good solid momentum just because, well, a bunch of people are watching and, hey, I'm a breakout trader. Oh, look, that's breaking out. Oh, that's breaking out. I'm a breakout trader. I'm supposed to buy. So therefore they just buy. You could get a lot of that right there because, again, you got to think a lot of people have drawn that line very, very straightforward from, the trend line standpoint. And then in regards to areas of support, key level to watch, again, green for support, would be down here right around that level of the $1.27. If $1.27 cannot hold up, then I would keep a close eye on that 50 period moving average. And right now that is valued right there around the $1.09 mark. But as right now, the overall trend is still plenty up. So overall chart looks fine. I do realize that if you're a day trader and you bought right there, I probably sound crazy saying that the chart looks fine. But again, I'm talking about from different reference points. But again, if you do care about the big picture reference point, then even with the pullback today, there's still plenty of opportunity to build a higher base. Next one here, LGMK, another penny stock, and another one of these bull pennant patterns. So I'm going to go through this a little quicker as you already heard me talk about it. But there's the top part of the pattern. Now, the bottom part of the pattern, I'm not going to actually use the trend line. Let's just use that pink line right there, which you now know is a 200 period moving average, and you can see the power of it. Check it out. There's one bounce right off that level, and then another bounce right off that level. So that's not to say that it's going to continue to bounce off of there, but not totally shocking to see that price behavior at that area. So again, let's just draw the pattern here. So we have our area of resistance. And then again, we're using this moving average right there as our lower trend line. And then we get the nice upwards move right there. So call it a bull pennant, call it a bull flag, whatever you want to call it. The psychology is the same, that being there's been a good solid movement in the upwards direction. Now it's doing some consolidating, so it just becomes a question of can the price consolidate and then get the break to the upside. So again, if for you penny stock traders that like bull pennants, you definitely have a couple different choices headed into Tuesday. Next one here, NVDA. Overall, the chart is fine. Let me put this out like this just so you can get a better context. But I do realize that it's all about perspective. So like I mentioned earlier, if you're a day trader and you bought right there, or maybe you bought right here this morning on the dip and thought it was going to come back around and your goal was to buy and sell within a few minutes. Yeah, from that angle, things are looking not so good. With that being said, from the bigger picture, even with the pullback here, and again, this will mean more to those that watched previous videos, but also I've already talked about this purple line a couple of times, but here's a perfect example of what I mean. Does not happen all the time, but price pulled back and oh, what a coincidence. Look right where it decided to bounce from, right off of that purple line. So no guarantees, but charts do have a place in the market, and that's one of them right there. Just a beautiful bounce off that. And then also that just justifies the overall kind of sentiment of, yeah, from the grand scheme of things, sure it pulled back, but still plenty of higher bases. So if that's the new base here, and then you compare it to that base, and then you compare it to that base, and then you compare it to that one, then if you envision these as stair steps, then very clearly the stair steps are still progressing in the upwards direction. So just keep that in mind right there. And then as far as if this is going to curl back upwards, the main battleground, yeah, that trend line right there I think is pretty interesting. So we'll see if the price can get up to that level. And if it can it push through it? We'll have to see what happens on Tuesday. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering later on in the week. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description area you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, PONY, and another very nice mover today. So I've already talked about this before, so I'm going to go through this a little bit quicker. But previous ones were on penny stocks, but we have the same pattern here. So we have a pullback right there as far as resistance. We have our area of support right here, so green, and then just keep it the same color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the nice upwards move right there. We have our golf hole down here. So we're looking at yet another bull pennant pattern. So just to reiterate, just because something's bullish in a pattern doesn't mean it will for sure go up. Well, I don't think it would be shocking to anybody if this thing consolidated out, got up there, and then made a big move in the upwards direction. So that is a more than valid question to throw out there. So if you maybe you don't like penny stocks, but you do like bull pennant patterns, well, here's one that's not a penny stock, but a good quality bull pennant. Next one here, WOLF, Wolf, and very, very well-defined top part of this pattern breakout area. So by no means is this some sort of great discovery, but I'm sure if you're watching this one today, then you know right up around that $4.20 mark. It's just been it's been a struggle. The price has gotten up there several times, and the bulls have just not been able to get enough momentum and strength to push up through there. Doesn't mean it can't happen in the future, but no pun intended. But as of right now, sorry, bad joke for those of you that trade futures. Anyways, like I said, bad joke. But that doesn't mean that it can't be broken, at some point over the next couple of days. So we have that, and then we have the bottom part of the pattern right here. Let's change that to green, and then maybe you know where I'm headed with all this. We have our area of resistance. We have our area of support. We have the nice move right there, and we have ourselves yet another bull pattern. So a good variety. Have some penny stocks. Have this one right around the $5 mark. Had some more up around the $10 mark. But yes, if you're a fan of bull pennants, then today has been good to you, and you're going to be looking forward to Tuesday. Next one here, WW, and sometimes it's just like this. The past couple of weeks, it has been a bull pennant market. It just seems like everything is putting in bull pennants, and we have yet another example of that. So there's our area of resistance. There's our support. Resistance, support. Now this one here made a big old move late day. So that's what occurred late day on Friday. The volume came pouring in. Less volume today, but still overall nice little pennant pattern here. So, and just because I cannot help myself, got to get the golf hole down there. So looking at another bull pennant for you penny stock traders. Next one, BBAI, and this is one where it's somewhat tricky to talk about because I understand if you're a day trader, flipper, scalper, and you bought right there in the open and you were looking to buy and sell within 10 minutes. From that standpoint, things are looking pretty shaky. But other than that, even with the pullback, the chart is looking just fine, especially now when you factor in this afternoon. There's been a slight little, recovery back upwards. But like I said, assuming you care about the bigger picture point of view, and like I talked about on the previous one, if we just look at where the bases are at. So there's one base, there's another 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 base. And if you picture each of these as stair-steps, then yeah, big picture-wise, stair-steps still plenty clearly in the upwards direction. Again, I understand if you're a day trader and you bought right there, you don't care about these stair-steps. So that's what I'm trying to distinguish between more of a day trader versus somebody that cares about the bigger picture point of view. So even with the pullback today, the chart is doing just fine. And like I talked about previously, I would say the most straightforward way to kind of just continue to gauge the health of the overall move is just to watch that purple line, which you now know is the 50-period moving average. So as that line moves higher and higher, as long as the price stays above there, then that by default is putting the price in the spot where it's putting in a higher base. So very straightforward to watch it with that area. In terms of areas of resistance, I think the key battleground to watch moving forward, yeah, you have the high right there, but I think there's more of a hidden key level right there around $3.67. So keep an eye on that. And if there can be a high volume break of 367, again, no guarantees, but gotta like the chances that it at least goes up to the highs right there, if not even pushes up through them. But all in all, assuming you care about the bigger picture point of view, the overall uptrend remains in the bulls direction. Next one, TSLA, Tesla. And overall, like I said, a tricky talk about day traders that bought right there. Not looking so good for them. But everybody else, it did pull back. It is starting to curl back upwards. But from the overall trend perspective, doing this, you can see that's still much higher than where it was. So you get the idea. I'm not going to go with that. But there's bases, there's base. And if that is the new base, well, then very clearly we have good stair steps in the upwards direction. And that's really all you can ask for at the end of the day. So from an overarching standpoint, the chart has not done anything wrong. The only way it did anything wrong was, like I said, if you're a day trader that bought right there, that big move down there was very nasty for you. As far as areas of resistance, I would say a key area to watch right there at 288.50. And like I just mentioned on the previous one, no guarantees, but in my opinion, if the price can come up there, get a good high volume break of 288.50, then there's a great chance that the price not only goes up to that high right there, but I think could push up through there. But like I said, all in all, assuming that you're not a day trader scalper that bought up around the highs, today was perfectly fine. The chart remains nicely above the 50-period moving average, and that's what you want to see. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Like I said, it'll be later this week, Thursday, May 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, hit that like button. And if you're looking for a very easy way to support the channel, please hit that subscribe button as it really does help out. So thanks for watching and make sure you go get signed up for the free class.